Welcome to the Loveland Report and Loan Arranger Show. I am Central Florida's best real estate planner, Cleve Loveland, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger. We're talking about interest rates. We're talking about the bond market doing great and rates getting better, improving
government
the Central Florida market.
shutdowns.
That actually has been a good thing for the bond market, hasn't
Been
it?
great for mortgage rates.
So, and I'm going to dive into
Do
private
that more often.
I'm going to dive into private listings. What's that all about? Some companies think that's the next new thing. Rates are great. How's that affecting what's your buying power? How long should it take you to sell? And if you're selling and buying, how do you coordinate that? We're going to dig into that today, Bruce. What do you got?
Simultaneous transactions. I love them. We do them all the time, though. People get freaked out about them. We do them all the time. I'll tell you what I'm going to talk about. I want to talk about the advantage of buying and refinancing in this market, because this is what everybody's been waiting for. And I find it really fascinating. You know, I did a Fox News event. They bring me on from time to time as a local expert. And I was on with Amy Caulfield, and it was interesting because she was asking me a pointed question that not a lot of people ask. And one of them was, why is it look like rates are going up after a Fed has cut the Fed rate? And I want to talk a little bit about that. And then she wanted to know, where are the opportunities right now? So I've got some huge opportunities. Everybody out there that's listening right now that's renting or knows somebody that's renting, you're going to want to listen to this segment. And then who should be refinancing and who should hold off, and who's getting scammed right now, because there's people getting scammed right now on refis and you don't even know
They're getting churned,
and you are getting hammered. And a lot of them are being hammered by the existing servicer of your mortgage. So we're going to talk about that and what you should be aware of and what you should look out for when it comes to purchasing or refinancing.
Well, I get a lot of news publications, Bruce, and one thing I see out there, this is funny, and especially when the market slows down, everybody tries new things. Like, new things don't work. There's no new truths. It works as the MLS. And there's actually some big companies like say, well, we've got our own private listing network and you're going to sell better.
Oh my gosh, I hear that all the time.
And you know what? The MLS works, Bruce, because that's where everybody's at. All buyers end up in the back of a realtor's car and they're qualified. You fast track them. They're ready to go. You know what they can buy. We as real estate agents get buyers prepped. We answer their 10 fearful questions with 20 great answers. And here's the reasons why this is going to work for you. And this is why you should buy, or this is why you should sell now. And this is what you're going to net. We answer all those questions for them. But and because I've got, like, I sell less than 1%, or I sell about 2% of my own listings every year. And it's because there's 20,000, well, let's say there's 18,000 realtors.
Well, you list them right. You're an expert.
I list them right.
Lister.
But the odds of me being, like, I see realtors sometimes they lock a listing down. They don't put a lockbox on it, even though it's vacant.
That's because they're trying to find their own buyer.
They're making it difficult. And I've even listed people who I said, hey, you weren't an MLS. And they're like, oh, the other realtor didn't tell me that. And I'm like, well, that's why I was only charging you 3%. So, I mean, there's things like that. The MLS works because that's where the realtors have the buyers, and that's the power of everybody looking to sell your home.
When you're getting duped by a real estate agent that says we have our own list of buyers that are interested in your property, immediately hang up and call Cleve Loveland.
Yeah.
But let me just tell you, because I had this happen just a couple of weeks ago with one of my clients. That's exactly what she fell for. And you know what they did? They promised her no open houses. They promised her that no showings.
Oh,
both of those, one was true, although there was an ad that sent out for an open house that she didn't even have, and people showed up to her house.
Oh my God.
Okay. Secondly is, you're right. There's no regular showings. You know what they brought in? A bunch of investors that were lowballing her. So they're like, you don't have to have any showings. She's like, I had people traipsing through my house with measuring tapes, and these were just investors that were looking at possibly flipping my house. And
the family that wants your home will pay top dollar. They're worried about what is their payment. And also the other reason the MLS works, those agents that have buyers in their car, they just educated them. Let's say you're listed at $599. They just showed them $625. They just showed them $550. They saw the one that sold for $599 that looked as good as yours. And so that buyer's educated, and that's what takes away the fear. And they put the pen to paper. I just had somebody write me an offer on a property. $50,000 is this beautiful property, priced right. In fact, it was one of our listings today, but we've got it under contract. And it was we were at 670. And the agent wrote an offer for $620 and asked for closing costs. So it was basically $70,000 below list price. So over 10% below list price. Most properties, even in this market, are selling like 96 to 99% of list price, depends on what's going on, or if they're helping the buyer out. And I asked the agent, I said, did you see any other properties out there this nice? Why did you write that low? What,
Right.
share the comps with me. Tell me, plead your case with me. The agent didn't know what to do. They had no clue. And I sent them the comps we used. We were the nicest home, the most upgrades, the best view. And I told them, I said, well, you can get back in the car with your buyer and keep looking. I said, but this one's going to go this week. Sure enough, I got a
And it
contract.
did.
I got a contract. It's going to go like 97, 98% of list price. And we promised the buyer we'll make repairs. Great agent wrote a great offer. And that's just not the norm sometimes.
No, it
So
isn't.
you've got to watch out for those things. And when you're priced right, you will go. When you're marketed right, it will go. And it's
You need the correct guidance too. And I think that most people just aren't really that great at picking their own real estate agent. They pick people that they know, and that's not generally the right
you
person
got to
to
look at
pick.
results. How many families did they help last year?
I can pull up anybody's results. I can tell you which real estate agent, which lender. I can tell you how many deals that agent sold on the buy side, the sell side, their address, how much it sold for, how many days on the market.
Well,
But most of these people that they're like, Betty Sue's got, she's got a sign down the street, and I've met her before, and let me go talk to her about listing the house. But you don't have a good negotiator.
and I got a good neighbor with a house for sale for almost a million one, and they're being misled. There's no sales, and the house should be priced at 950. And literally for 4 months they tried with to no avail. And I told them in the nicest way I could. I'm like, it's a 950 house, and that $900,000 that's not in your bank account, not paying you $5,000 a month in interest,
Exactly.
is where you're losing money. And we're just not that kind of market. And it's not the marketing, it's not the agent, but they're being misled as far as they've already got their other house.
Well, and
So
if you already have your other house, now you're paying taxes, insurance, you're paying mortgage payments. And there is no mortgage, then you're right. You're
you're
missing out
losing,
on
you
an
got opportunity
opportunity in the
costs.
market.
Yeah, you got monthly cost to maintain the home. Anyway, you want to call me, you want to talk about your real estate plan, I'd love to help you. 407-352-8118. If you know somebody having trouble selling, be happy to help them. They can go to cleveloveland.com and email me, and I'll be happy to come speak with them.
Yeah. Or if you have questions for the Lone Ranger, you're looking at buying a home, building a home, refinancing a home, second mortgage, equity lines of credit, reverse mortgages, renovation loans, DSCRs for investors, bank statement programs for self-employed people with no tax returns. I got everything you need right here. All in-house, no brokering. Everything's done in-house, and we service 90% of our mortgages. Call the Loan Arranger at 407-250-9144 or go to webringyouhome.com. Get your application made there. Cleve, we only start with a soft credit pull. We don't do a hard credit pull to get people started. We don't want to do anything to negatively
you gather all the
affect
information, but the buyers should know. I got a gentleman, actually a good radio listener, keeps calling me about, oh, there's a house I want. I'm like, but he won't set the appointment with you. I'm like, we're not going anywhere until you got to find that out. So you got to get the details going. Can you buy without selling? Do we need to sell first? But I don't even want to put the house on the market until I know all the numbers for the seller
Agreed.
and the buyer. And you're kind of dreaming if you don't get those numbers in and get those facts. But like you said, you'll tell them about where they stand and what's going on and the right solution for them.
Well, I'm going to tell you exactly where you stand, not even about. Once we've got your information, there's the only thing that can change are interest rates. And, those aren't even going to change that dramatically.
So how are we running right now? I mean, they've been trending downward. They've since the
So
Fed
it was
cut.
interesting. Since the Fed cut, rates have gotten just a little bit worse. Okay. Not dramatically to where, oh my God, they're going the other direction. Yes, they got a little bit worse. We lost about 28 basis points. We're down about 48 basis points at one point. But thank God for the government shutdown. Boy, did that boost the bond market and really has put rates in a very positive position. So yeah, this week we locked a whole bunch of refis in. There's been many people that got on my VIP rate watch list. And then many of you have not gotten on that list right now. Now, I'm not refinancing everyone that's calling me to refinance right
It's personal. It's personal.
Well, it all depends on what rate you already had,
Yeah.
what type of credit score you have. Like I've got a guy right now that I only did his mortgage 6 months ago, and now he's ready to refi because they've dropped. But his credit score was like 675. He listened to what I told him. He's now at 750, and I can refi him, and I'm saving him $300 a month.
Oh my
So
gosh,
it's a
that's great
great time for him to
And
do
so
that.
with these, so typically, what's our average rate now? Like 6 3/8, just below 6 and a
Yeah,
half.
I mean, your average Fannie Mae right now says you're right about 6.39%.
Okay. So now from where we were 2 months ago, high sixes, that means a buyer at 450 can now go to 470 about.
very possibly you
Okay.
could get about $20,000 to $25,000 more buying
And then
power.
let's say they've got their application in with you and you work on fast tracking them and you say, hey, fix these things on your credit. That rate could very well drop another eighth. Or
Absolutely.
okay. That's the important part.
It could. I mean, we do that all the time. And some folks have enough time to do it. Some folks don't. You know what is hard? What they do, Cleve, is they'll go, I'm not ready to buy just yet. I want to wait. I have things I'm trying to fix on my credit. You know what that means to me?
They're messing it up.
They are going to screw it up even
Yep.
worse. Listen, I don't charge anything. I don't even want you to go to credit repair. I don't like credit repair and don't do debt consolidation. I got a guy right now that I could have saved $800 a month, but he went into debt consolidation and he already had good credit, but he got conned in to one of these
Oh.
companies that said, oh, we'll consolidate all that debt and then we're going to make it easy. And he got talked into it. His credit score went from 804
Oh my God.
to 670.
Oh God.
So and he's furious. And now it just totally eliminated him saving that
I've
money.
never seen.
Don't do debt consolidation. You call me first. I'll tell you
Yep.
if you need professional help or not. Most of the time we can help you ourselves. My name's Bruce Woodburn. I am the Lone Ranger. Cross Country Mortgage, 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com.
All right, Bruce, real quick. We got a couple minutes here. I want to do 2 listings here because I
Let's
think
hear about 'em.
these are going to go 935,000, 3,100 square feet, 4-bedroom, 3-bath. This is in South Bay, the
Nice.
glamorous section of Bay Hill, connected to Bay Hill. And great neighborhood, walking trails, tennis courts, play area for the kids. But this house is 3,100 square feet on a big corner lot with a circular driveway, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, great for entertaining. Got pocket doors that pocket away out by the pool area, big open living area with Turkish travertine floors, which I think is more expensive travertine than regular travertine. I don't know, but it looks great. Beautiful open layout, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. Oversized bedrooms, the master suite views the pool area, but $935 for that one, 3,100 square feet. And that's not going to last. And then I've got one here. This is a great first time buyer home. This is a pool home. It's 1,300 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths with a 2-car garage and another garage out back and a half acre and no HOA for $350.
Wow.
And the seller, we already had it inspected. The buyer demanded that it needed an AC and a Fed pack panel. It needed a breaker panel replaced.
Yep.
Seller said, okay, I'll do that. They demanded more money on top of that. So I told them to pound sand. So
Put it back on the market.
Back on the market. Seller will make repairs. That's the only thing that was found.
So now we're getting a new roof or we have a new roof on?
Roof's fine, but it was AC and breaker panel. Seller said, great, I'll fix it. But they were being unreasonable. They're asking for money. Like, we're not going to do that. I know the activity on the property. When you start getting offers on a property,
you start getting greedy.
Well, this buyer was, and I told them goodbye. So they're probably still looking and torturing their realtor, driving them around town. But $350 for that on the right by 429 and the Apopka area, all that growth out there by the Publix. In fact, the Publix is like two driveways down for $350,000.
That area is booming in town too. Yeah. If you have questions for Cleve, he can be reached at 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com. So you got a couple listings. We'll cover a couple more. Yep. We've talked a little bit about what interest rates are doing, the advantage of a government shutdown. Nobody thought it would be an advantage of a government shutdown, but
the government doesn't do anything right. Shut it down. Yeah.
So shut it down.
Except for drop bombs.
Let's rid of, well, as long as we got air traffic control, right? I don't need my mail delivered
Trump's
anymore.
blowing up drug dealers. He's blowing up drug dealers in the Caribbean. We're good. So the Army doesn't stop working.
Isn't it the truth? Listen, give out your number. We got 5 minutes before our next segment. Give out your
Cleve Loveland, 407-352-8118. I'll be working all weekend. You can call me anytime or go to cleveloveland.com.
Yeah, or Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger. Get your mortgage application started here for purchase refi. We're going to talk about first-time home buyer programs and the advantages of refining and who is getting scammed in the market right now. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.